Oh boy. Hey friends. Today's video is brought to you by iFixit. They decided to be super gracious and send over every single freaking toolkit we could possibly ever need. My goodness. Specifically, as you read from the title of the video, we're gonna be looking at fixing GPU fans, because I don't know if you guys remember, I built my own personal rig about a month and a half ago. And in the dead quiet of my gaming lair, I can hear these fans spin up. They make a noise. I don't know if you guys can hear it. It's kind of making a ticking noise, and it drives me up a freaking wall to hear it happen every single time I'm trying to play a game, because this is one of those graphics cards where the fans turn off, and then once it gets past a certain temperature, the fans turn back on. Well, guess what? It does that all the freaking time. So today, thanks to iFixit, we're gonna be showing you how to replace graphics card fans on a graphics card. There's a couple different ways that we can do it. I'm gonna walk you through them, and we'll do the surgery on this puppy and get it silent, because I'm tired of my 1080 Ti going grrr when I'm trying to enjoy some video games. So let me tell you about iFixit. In case you didn't notice, they have all of these toolkits which help you actually fix all of your computers, all of your electronics, everything that you would possibly need, done by iFixit. They got the ProTech toolkit, the ProTech screwdriver set, the Mahi driver kit, the Essentials Electronics toolkit. And not only do they sell all of these toolkits, they also sell the parts that you might need to actually fix your electronics, and they also have super handy repair guides so that you can make sure you're not screwing anything up in case you're a repair noob like a lot of us are, including me. So it's a big deal for them to be sponsoring this video. They have been absolutely phenomenal. We can't recommend them enough. You can check out the repair guides. They're totally free. Their toolkits are some of the best that I've ever seen, and going to replacing every single tool that we have in this office, and then the part store as well if you guys need to pick them up. So check out iFixit at the link in the video description. That'll be ifixit.com/UFDtech, ifixit.com/UFDtech, to go check them out, get everything you need from them. And I think that all we're gonna need is a Phillips head screwdriver for this one, but I'm gonna walk you guys through what we need to fix this graphics card. We're gonna go over to the surgery table and work on this little itty bitty thing that needs to stop ruining my life. So the first, most obvious way that you can actually replace the fans on your graphics card is to just submit it under warranty. The manufacturers can replace this for you, but that is not the case with this card. I have messed with it too much. I'm pretty sure it's out of warranty, and it's sponsored by iFixit. So why would we actually tell you to do warranty if you're fixing it yourself? So it's pretty simple, honestly. You take the shroud off, you unscrew the fans, and bam, we're gonna be done. You can find replacement parts in several different places. Personally, we picked up some GPU fans off of AliExpress, I think it was. It might have been eBay, I'm not too sure. Anyways, pretty easy to grab off of wherever. You search the card that you have, you search the make and the model, and then you'll find, hey, look, Zotac. That's for this Zotac 1080 Ti right there. Alternatively, you could buy a cheaper graphics card like this Zotac 1060 and just jack the fans off of this and then put it on that one. However, there are some special cases with cards, such as this XFX RX 580 8GB. This is actually a pretty ingenious design by XFX, where they made the fans hot swappable. So you just order new ones, you take these out through the clips right there, and bam, Bob's your uncle, your graphics card is fixed. No more bad fan. And most graphics cards have the same setup. This pallet has the screws under the fan, which we'll access in just a little bit. You'll also get these Galax ones, which you access under the fans right there. You also have Strix, similar setup right there. And then finally, one that's a little different is this pallet card. Under the fan, there's no screws. Presumably, what I would have to do, which I'm not going to do because this is a brand new RTX 2070 that we were sent over, is I would have to take the shroud off first, and then the screws would be on the interior of the shroud, as opposed to me accessing the screws from the exterior. Pretty easy. Most of the ones that we have are basic Phillips heads, so you don't need too much. We have this iFixit ProTech screwdriver set with the Phillips heads involved here. They come in all sizes, small enough to just kind of reach in there and bam, start unscrewing. Not too hard, but you might run into an issue if you uninstall the screws first, because you're not going to be able to access all of the cables that are likely tied into the PCB where they're plugged in. So first up, you actually have to take off the entire shroud, which again, not too hard. Most of them is done with a normal Phillips head screw. Some of them, as far as I know, might have some torque set up, but 90 to 99% of GPUs will just be done with a normal Phillips head. You find the retention springs for the cooler, that's on top of the card. You unscrew every single one of them. If you see all of the screws that you can see are unscrewed, it should just come apart easily, and should, with a little love and a little hard work, pop off just like that. Don't be too rough, don't pull too hard, because there are things like this fan connector right here, which we have to remove like that. And oh look, there's this connector over here, which I believe is for the RGB LEDs, which I'm pretty sure I broke at one point, so I don't think it works anymore. But anyways, if you pull too hard, you're gonna destroy these cables and not be able to use them anymore, which is probably something I did at one point in the past, because in case you guys haven't noticed, I'm not necessarily the most careful with GPUs. So here's the PCB for the GPU. That's a 1080 Ti right there. We don't need this at all to fix the fans, so I'm gonna move it. So now you can see we have this cable right here, which presumably leads to the fans. But now, how do we get access to the fans? That is the key question, and most likely is going to be answered by other screws. So I've never actually taken this off before, so I'm not 100% sure how this is gonna go. I think it's actually mounted here, so the smarter idea, would have been to actually unscrew it while it was still in the PCB. It's gonna vary from card to card, because I've had cards where it was attached through the back. So right now I can see that there is a top and bottom screw on each of these. And once I get rid of all 6 of those, then I should be able to remove the shroud from the actual heatsink that is cooling the GPUs. And then I just brought the PCB back so that I could put the thermal paste down. I'm not cleaning that up right now. Just make sure that you pull up the screw in between the fan blades, and it's pretty dang easy. And there it is. There is the removal. But then we still have the issue of the fans kind of blocking it, so we just gotta, there we go, just wiggle it off. And there it is. So you can see right here what we have there is a splitter for the fans. This one is running to the PCB, which powers all 3 of them. So you're gonna wanna unplug these, obviously, to replace them. Okay, so now that we have this completely disassembled, it's actually time to unscrew the fans from their housing right here. And it's this little middle one that is giving me the biggest troubles. So we're just gonna replace this one today, and we will make sure that the other ones, if they start to act up, will be replaced as well. I bought 6 fans, so we should have enough to take care of this thing for several lifetimes, to the point where once I run out of fans, the 1080 Ti is going to be as good as the latest low-end card. That's the general idea. So you just go through the fan blades, you just unscrew, and wow, look at that, that is done. And then you just wanna gently pull this puppy out of its plastic housing right there, and then you have a free slot for a fan. So this is the bad fan, this is the new good fan, and we should be able to get everything plugged in properly and have a new setup going quite nicely. I'm gonna plug the new one just into the plastic housing so it'll be fine, and then it has this little routing place right there to make sure everything's okay. This one came with an extra little bit because it's supposed to like be a dual fan solution, but we're not using it that way. So just slide the cables under the retention. That'll allow us to just put this in place, screw it down, and be on our way to getting a fully quiet GPU. So just gently screwing that one down so that I can get to the other fan sections. Oh, missed that one. Thankfully, these screwdrivers are completely magnetic. So when I do that multiple times, it's not breaking. Let's move you over. Let's turn the fan. Right there. Done. And one more. That's done. Okay, so that's because the cables are right there, and I just need to maneuver them under this little retention mechanism that they have. So I'm gonna use a screwdriver for what it's not intended for, and slide that right in, I think. Okay. There we go. Now spinning freely. It's not a perfect replica, but it should be fine. It should be good enough for us to actually put the shroud back on. So you can see that that'll go that way. Just kind of need to maneuver this over and under each of the fan blades. Got that section, got that one, sort of. And it's mostly this one that we need to finally finalize. So now it's the same as the beginning. We're just gonna take the same screws that we used to uninstall the shroud from the heatsink and put it back. And just like I showed you with the other Zotac card, it's the reverse on that one. The shroud is loosened from underneath, not from on top like this one. So the last step is making sure that you plug everything back in, like this cable over here. Doing it gently, making sure not to tear anything and ruin it like I have so done in the past, because I don't even remember why I was messing with this graphics card, to be honest. Getting the fans plugged back in, and then it's just a matter of making sure it's seated on the PCB properly. You can, at this point, change out the thermal paste if you want. I'm not too concerned with it. The heat on this is fine. And there seem to be plenty, doesn't look too old. I'm pretty sure I already redid it once, which is probably how I damaged the, what's it called? The RGB on this card anyways. And just like any type of screwing system, you do it across from each other to give it even pressure to make sure that you're not going to crack anything or over tighten it on one side before you're supposed to. So just get all of them placed in there. What the heck? Why did that one come out? Frick. So confused. Get in there. There you go. And there we go. A fully repaired GTX 1080 Ti Zotac fan. That one spun the longest, the middle one, the one that was fixed. Now let's go ahead and throw it on the test bench and let's see if we can hear any more grinding noises, because better freaking not be able to. Moment of truth, plug it in. Also, fun fact, I was looking over at the Strix cards and the fan sizes seem to be about the same, and it seems to have the same mounting mechanism. So if all else failed with this video, I probably could have just jacked those from my Strix 580 and made that work. And we're good. Totally silent. And the computer turns off. It does that. I don't know why this motherboard does that. Anyways, so there you go. That's how you fix a graphics card's fan. That was something that's been bugging me forever. I ordered those fans a while ago, and then I just never got around to fixing it. But then iFixit sponsored us, so it made sense to do it for this. Anyways, big thanks to iFixit for sending over all of the tools. They're sturdy too, in case you didn't know. Anyways, thanks iFixit for sending these things over. Thanks for sponsoring the video. Check them out at the link in the video description, ifixit.com/UFDtech. If you want to get the tools, you want to get the repair guides, you want to get the parts that you need, check them out there. Also, one thing that I forgot to mention that you could probably do for picking up fans for your graphics card is maybe even talk to the retailer that you bought it from. They might have some special pull with a distributor or the manufacturer directly to get you the parts that you need. Typically, they don't like letting consumers mess with their own stuff, but if it's out of warranty, then you know, what do they have to care? So just try to do that. Anyways, that's gonna wrap it up for this video. I'm gonna enjoy my 1080 Ti in my system now, worry-free, free, and it'll be delicious for me to play video games in complete silence. Yes, free, okay? That's the sound it makes. Like button, get subscribed. See your smiling faces again in the next video.